of the Regional Transportation Commission.
Thanks,
MJ.
Chairman. Good morning, everyone. Your first item is to conduct your first citizens participation period.
This is the first time set aside for public comment. Anyone wishing to provide public comment with regards to any matter on today's agenda before the Regional Transportation Commission, please step forward to the microphone, state your name, spell your last name, and please limit your comments to 3 minutes.
Hello, good morning, Mayor Goodman and the rest of the County Commission. I'm Catherine Duncan. I'm here today because we are on agenda item number 37. I'm at the Harrison House, and I live on F Street. And those of you who are in transportation understand what happened on F Street. And I don't believe we recovered from that situation yet. But we're really excited when you decided to do a 25-year plan. And I'm here to make sure that the historic West Side is not only included in that plan, but also is able to take some of the leadership on the community engagement portion. So we did apply on agenda item number 37, knowing that we couldn't do the whole of Southern Nevada, but we're certainly here to congratulate the winning team who did receive the bid to see if there was a way that we could make ourselves known so that we could work with them with our virtual community action planning strategy. So I thank you for entertaining me this morning, and I hope to meet with this new team that's going to be coming in and helping us plan for our future. I thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you. Anyone else would you provide public comment? So we'll go ahead and close the first public comment period, and I will turn it back over to Ms. Maynard.
Thanks, Chairman. The next item is to approve the agenda. It's in order and ready for your approval.
All right, and before we do that, I'll just note that Councilman Wanless is on the phone today. I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Move to approve.
All right, there's a motion to approve the agenda. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. The next item is to receive the CEO report, and today we are going to start with some recognitions. So first we actually have two contractor recognitions, but before we begin, I would like to thank the board for supporting our consolidation of the bus operations center. Because of you, we were able to really enhance the operations to help provide more efficient service to our community. It's helped us streamline service, and it also helps us more responsive in handling some of the incidents that occur. Since we opened the BOC, the new and improved BOC in May, we have been able to enhance our team's efficiency and response again to those incidents. That leads me to our first recognition of a standout employee at TransDev, Karen Albright. We have a video message from Sabrina Glenn, who is our Senior Director of Transit. So let's watch the video to hear what Sabrina has to say about Karen.
Thank you, MJ. Today, I have the honor of recognizing someone whose dedication and commitment have truly made a difference. For over 10 years, Karen Albright has been a cornerstone of the RTC, bringing unwavering professionalism and a tireless work ethic to every task. Karen has consistently exhibited outstanding leadership. She not only fulfills her responsibilities with precision, but also goes above and beyond to mentor new team members, generously sharing her wealth of knowledge. Karen's readiness to assist during emergencies and citywide evacuations underscores her dedication to our community's safety and well-being. When RTC receives a call from local law enforcement to provide bus support to transport victims during emergencies, the BOC has to quickly spring into action and ensure all needs are met. Karen plays a critical role in managing numerous traffic and roadway detours, addressing challenges faced by TransDev and RTC with versatility and strong problem-solving skills. She is an indispensable asset to RTC and the community. Let's congratulate Karen and surprise her with the Crystal Bus Award. Hey, good morning, Karen. How are you?
Better now, I guess.
Good. So I am here on behalf of MJ Maynard and our Board of Commissioners to just thank you for all of your hard work, efforts, your dedication to the BOC, the way that you keep our community, our bus drivers moving, knowing what's going on, putting in the endless amount of detours that you do on a daily basis, even in the overnight hours. And so on behalf of all of us, I'd like to award you with this Crystal Bus and thank you for all your efforts.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's nice to be recognized.
Oh, thank you.
Because I work very hard.
You do.
I know what I do, and I appreciate that. Thank you to all you guys that work so hard out there, that drive these buses. Thanks to the supervisors for dealing with the trouble that we have. and helping us get the buses and keeping them going, and the managers for helping us stay in line, and RTC for recognizing me. Thank you.
Is Karen here? Stand up, Karen. Thank you, Karen.
Karen, thank you for all you do. Next, we'd like to acknowledge Intercon Security Officer Littleton Carey. To present this special item, we have a video from Tom Atterbury, who is our Director of Safety and Security.
Thanks, MJ. Today I'm honored to spotlight an outstanding member of our team. Transit Security Officer Littleton Carey demonstrated remarkable skill and bravery in de-escalating a dangerous situation on our transit system. Officer Carey immediately called for backup when a violent altercation erupted, then quickly subdued the individuals involved and disarmed one of them, preventing any further harm and ensuring the safety of all passengers. Officer Carey's quick thinking and steady presence are a testament to the professionalism and dedication that define our team at Intercon Security. Let's honor his great work with the Crystal Bus Award. Officer Carey?
Yes.
I'm Tom Atterbury. I'm the Director of Safety and Security for RTC. Congratulations. I want to present you with the Crystal Bus Award
Oh, thank you.
on behalf of the RTC Board of Commissioners and our CEO, MJ Maynard. I want to congratulate you on a job well done
Oh, thank you. I appreciate
for
it.
disarming a violent offender on one of our transit routes on the BHX. You did a great job.
Thank you. I appreciate it so much. I don't take any credit for what I did. I just did it out of instinct. I am a father of 2 small children, so it was just natural. But I'd like to thank the RTC crew members and the employees that I work with. And this was an honorable, reward, and I accept it. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Is Littleton here? There he is. That's you. That's you.
I just want to say thank you for RTC and the ICS employees that I work with on their behalf. And I don't look at myself as a hero. I just did the right thing. Honestly, I didn't even want the bad guy to get hurt because his life matters to me also. But if it happened again, I wouldn't give it a second thought. But I'm glad to see another day, and God bless you all.
We think you're a hero.
So if we could have Karen and Littleton come down and take a picture with our
Come
commissioners.
on down here.
Thank you.
Next, I'd like to recognize our IT team who worked through the night and into the early hours of the morning during the recent the global IT outage to resolve the issue and restore our systems. As a business operates 24/7, this IT team, again, they literally worked around the clock to ensure that our system was stabilized with the computer systems that we need to operate our system. They worked remotely and visited RTC campuses to ensure that our infrastructure, which consists of roughly 500 workstations and 300 servers, was secure and fully operational. They were able to identify the root cause of the issue, implement the necessary solutions before the vendor issued a fix, and restored our system quickly. Their proactive approach not only minimized disruption to our operations, but also ensured the security and integrity of our data during a critical time. So if anyone is here from the IT department, if you could stand up.
IT department.
They really did a great job, and it was seamless. We really didn't experience an issue because they worked through the night to get us going. So thanks, Scott, to you and your team. Next, I'd like to highlight last month's groundbreaking of the Maryland Parkway Bus Rapid Transit Project. We've been looking forward to the start of construction on this project for a very long time, and we were thrilled to have U.S. Secretary of Transportation Pete Buttigieg, members of Nevada's federal delegation, and of course, members of our RTC board there to celebrate. Thank you to everyone who has helped us to get to this point. For the Maryland Parkway Bus Rapid Transit Project, we know we could not have done this on our own, certainly needed your leadership, support, and direction. The QR code on the slide will take you directly to the construction sign-up page on the Maryland Parkway website. We encourage everyone who lives, works, or travels in and around the corridor to sign up and stay informed on construction progress. Now on to the show. We hope you enjoy the quick video. It recaps what we thought was a very exciting event.
Today, I am delighted to join you to officially help break ground on the new Maryland Parkway Bus Rapid Transit line.
Today, we are celebrating a safer vision for all road users.
This 12-mile corridor is going to bring traffic signal priority, frequent service, nicer areas to wait in, faster, more reliable, more comfortable trips.
This is such an amazing project, going from the airport to UNLV, the Boulevard Mall, to the medical district.
This is where people come together for work, for social, for jobs, you name it. It's about designing a system that's just not about the car, but also about the transit rider, the cyclist, the pedestrian.
These projects invest in and are equitable to every single community.
It's going to support 1,100 local jobs, 33 million local contracts for 18 local businesses. Now, that's what we call an investment.
The people that make this happen are the actual laborers.
The laborers Local 872 who are helping to build this project. The Amalgamated Transit Union, consisting of the bus drivers and mechanics who run our transit system.
All the unions, we all come together as a team and we can get it done.
When you look at what this means for our community, for our students, for employees, for small businesses.
When good public investments happen, private investments follow because you have support for small business, support for growth.
This is an absolutely transformational project for all of Southern Nevada.
Transportation is the key to every aspect of quality of life.
Let's continue to build up our communities, not tear them down. Continue to bring people together through coalition, not divide us. That's what we're working for.
We are saving people money. We are saving people time. We are better connecting this community.
Again, thank you so much for your support. I'm glad you were there. So at the RTC, we are proud to partner with schools throughout the Valley, from elementary through higher education. The RTC, we are committed to ensuring that students, faculty, and staff have safe, reliable, and affordable transportation. In addition to providing reduced fares for students under 18 years of age, we work with the Clark County School District to offer the Ride On program for select high school students on RTC buses. Today, that's 20 high schools that we partner with. We also offer the mobility training program that teaches students, especially those with special needs, how to navigate our public transit system independently. Today, we're especially excited to share how our discounted college transit passes are providing access and opportunities to students at the College of Southern Nevada. Let's watch.
My name is Abraham Gomez. I'm the College Life Coordinator here on the North Las Vegas campus, and we are incredibly grateful for the partnership and collaboration that we have with RTC to ensure that our students can get wherever they need to for their educational journey.
Hi, I'm Lestieli Wanapule, and having access to transit bus passes has been such a blessing. I live with around 12 people at home, and we all share cars. The car I was supposed to use for school broke down this summer, so it's been overwhelming thinking about how I will be getting to school. And as a student athlete here, I also have found it difficult to find a job or fit one into my schedule to pay for things like classes or transportation. But now that I have access to transit passes, I not only have a way to make it to school, but I also have a way to find success and chase after my lifelong dreams.
The RTC program alleviates the financial burden of transportation, allowing our students to focus on their studies. By providing these passes, the program ensures that all students can access education across our multiple campuses, removing a significant barrier to their success.
Hi, my name is Luis Vasquez. I'm a student here at CSN, and I use the public transit system, so it really helps to get the semester passes here from CSN, as it really helps me become sure and confident that I have a way to make it to class, make it to home safely, as well as make it to work when I have to go to work. And it gives me a sense of independence and just secureness in my transportation, even if I'm not able to drive a car, because I have a school that's helping to support me and a public transit system that's helping take care of me when I need it and is always there for me.
The CSN and RTC partnership boosts student retention by easing campus commutes while increasing RTC ridership and strengthening our community through collaboration.
Having access to a transit pass impacts my ability very much, as it's reliable on getting me to my classes on time and for any scheduled work interviews I might have. RTC is my only transportation actually, and they really help me a lot with my daily school and work life. If it wasn't for RTC and having a transit pass, I don't know how I would even get to any of my classes or interviews on time.
Hi, my name is Mimi. I used to be a CSN student, but now I am a CSN employee, and that is because of public transportation. Got me to and from school so that I can achieve my goals.
On behalf of the entire CSN and our student body population, we're incredibly grateful for the partnership that we have with RTC.
Thanks, great. We do. We all matter, right? How we move people, goods, and services at our community matters, and these young people are a great example of just the good work that commissioners you continue to do here in Las Vegas and Southern Nevada. So I'm going to go ahead, as we briefed you, we like to at least once a year give you an update on the state of our transit system, and today we're going to hear from Sabrina Glenn, who's our Senior Director of Transit. Sabrina?
Good morning, through the chair. Thank you, MJ. For the record, I am Sabrina Glenn, Senior Director of Transit here with the RTC. The following presentation will provide an overview of our transit and microtransit services during fiscal year 2024. It is worth noting that on July 1st, 2023, the RTC Transit contract transitioned from a two-contractor system under the management of MB and Keolis to a one single contractor under TransDev. This first chart illustrates the month-by-month comparison of passenger trips, more commonly known as ridership. As you can see, we recognized a 5% increase. This is mostly, attributed to increased ridership along our residential routes. We also are illustrating our on-time performance, or OTP. The OTP indicates the percentage of time the service operates on the planned schedule. Many factors can affect on-time performance, including unexpected traffic, congestion, detours, weather, and as we are all very familiar with, construction. I'd like to take a moment to highlight the correlation between construction and its impact on our transit service and ultimately our on-time performance. As you can see, this map illustrates our transit system, and then we have overlaid it with the reported, and I stress reported, construction projects from the RTC Seeing Orange database. At one point last year, 34% of our routes were on detour due to major construction projects, including the work along Decatur, Sunset, Jones, and Charleston. These same delays that individuals experience in their cars also impact our buses. This upcoming September 2024 service change will continue to make frequency and schedule adjustments that are designed to consider the impacts of known construction projects, reduce increased passenger loads, and improve reliability. Ultimately, our goal is to increase ridership, improve OTP, and most importantly, our customer experience. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank our TransDev operators who are navigating our roadways under these challenging conditions, as well as our RTC and TransDev team members who work daily to monitor construction, identify detours, oversee operations, and communicate changes to our public. This slide illustrates the fare revenue for all RTC routes during fiscal year 2024. In total, we collected more than $57.3 million. This is an increase of 4.7% over the fiscal year 23, which is aligned with our increase in ridership. This chart represents the fiscal year comparison of our strip revenue and ridership between 23 and 24. Although we have recognized increases in both revenue and ridership since the pandemic on our residential services, the strip has not rebounded at the same rate and still wavers around a 51% return. The Strip is a complex and unique corridor. As we continue to experience major events and activities, the nature of these events, such as Formula One and the Super Bowl, result in construction impacts, increased congestion, and longer travel times. We have also experienced the unprecedented amount of construction, like the utility work that's occurring along Las Vegas Boulevard, all of which impact our dues on the Strip service. I do want to note that our transit team continues to work very closely with our contractor to identify operational modifications that can improve performance and reliability. In fiscal year 24, we saw an 18% increase in our Ride RTC app downloads. These 2.3 million users can use the app to plan their trip, access customer service, and buy transit passes. Last year also introduced the expansion of the electronic fare payment system to offer account-based ticketing solutions within the Ride RTC mobile app. Branded as RTC Tap and Go, this includes the mobile wallet and ability to pay for single ride all within the app. We also launched the contactless payment on our buses. This allows customers to pay for their trip using a simple tap of their credit or debit card, or using their mobile phones to pay with Apple or Google Pay. Continuing to build on the RTC Tap and Go solution, we will be launching a reloadable smart card this fall. All of these enhancements have resulted in a 20% increase in fare payment scans on the bus in over fiscal year 23. In addition, during fiscal year 24, we sold more than 2 million passes in the Ride RTC app, totaling more than $17.3 million in fares. Of those, 82% were our general market and local passes, and 18% were our Strip and all access passes. RTC Transit passes were also available for purchase in the Transit and Uber app, and in total, we sold more than $2.9 million in these external apps during the year, which was a 10% increase over last year. Because of the extreme temperatures that affect our bus operations, we like to keep the board appraised of fleet performance during the summer. With more than 21 million miles traveled, the number of total road calls went from 978 in 23 to 781 in fiscal year 24 for a 20% decrease. These failures related to the extreme heat also decreased from 367 in 23 to 237 in 24, excuse me. A special thank you to our RTC fleet and TransDev maintenance teams for their hard work. Their efforts allowed us to keep our buses running during continued record summer heat. As for advertising revenue from both bus shelters and our buses, we saw an increase of 5%. For fiscal year 23 and 24, the minimum annual guarantee is $4 million each year from Outfront Media. During fiscal year 23 and into the first few months of 24, we worked with Outfront to replace 10 digital advertising screens and install 20 more along the Las Vegas Strip, as well as in downtown Las Vegas. There was a one-time deduction of $250,000 for the work associated with installing and maintaining these screens, as well as costs related to electrical work, permitting, and replacing protective screens because of vandalism. The RTC On Demand program provides microtransit services in the Southwest and West Henderson parts of the valley. This service was implemented back in August of 2021 to address transit gaps in the region. Passengers use the RTC On Demand app to book their trip and share rides in smaller 12-person buses from origins and destinations all within the zone. When the program began in 21, we transported more than 16,000 riders. In fiscal year 24, we transported almost 115,000. In fact, our fiscal year 24 ridership represents a 112% increase over fiscal year 23. This pilot program has demonstrated its value to the community, and as we address our fiscal challenges, we look forward to expanding these services across the valley. The RTC's partnership with the Clark County School District, or CCSD, launched the RTC Ride-On program in October of 2021. The program provides a public transportation option for select high school students at specific schools across the valley. What makes this program so unique is that the students can not only use their transit passes to commute to and from school, but they can use it for other personal or recreational trips. Last year, 21 schools participated in the program, and we provided over 165,000 trips to students who utilized our Ride RTC app for those trips. While this is a 7% decrease from the previous year, CCSD removed Sierra Vista High School in fiscal year 24, and which meant we provided trips to one less school than we did in 23. However, it is important to note they have brought back Sierra Vista for this fiscal year 25 school year. In addition to the mobile app users that are represented on this slide, CCSD purchased over 15,000 reduced fare 30-day passes for students last year. Our Game Day Express service for Raiders, UNLV football, and the Vegas Golden Knights games continues to be a popular service among transit and non-transit riders. In total, we transported more than 159,000 passengers last year. For just $4 round trip, our local community can travel from 6 convenient locations to Raiders and VGK games at Allegiant Stadium and T-Mobile Arena. The drop-off and pickup locations are quick and convenient, leading to the ongoing success of the service. If not for the Game Day Express service, more than 100,000 vehicles would have been driven to and from the games in what we all recognize as an already congested corridor. Fiscal year 24 does represent a 5% decrease in Raiders, 2% increase in VGK, and 4% increase in UNLV ridership. The RTC continues to provide the same level of service year over year, but the performance of the team does have a strong correlation to our ridership. We are thankful to Clark County for the continued financial contribution through the Office of Sustainability. Finally, this Sunday, the RTC will implement another service change. These changes are being funded by the $2.5 million the RTC received last legislative session through Senate Bill 341. We're very thankful for these funds as it will allow us to provide frequency restorations along 7 routes, improve OTP through service adjustments and schedule adjustments, and provide modifications to our Route 113 in North Las Vegas Boulevard, 212 Sunset, and 217 Warm Springs Lake Mead. These strategic improvements are designed to enhance bus routes and schedules across the valley. Thank you for your time, and I will now turn it over to Antoinette Braddock, Senior Director of Paratransit.
Thank you, Sabrina, and good morning to our board. For the record, my name is Antoinette Braddock. I am the Senior Director of RTC Paratransit and Specialized Services. Get you to my slide. My presentation will take you through our paratransit services and specialized services for fiscal year 2024. This first chart illustrates the paratransit ridership in fiscal year 2024. The paratransit service experienced a 15.5% increase in passenger rides from the previous fiscal year, reflecting a growing demand for our services. The demand showed a steady increase throughout the year with an impressive 26% surge in February of 2024. While we ended the year with an average on-time performance of 88.5%, it's noteworthy to know that we saw a marked increase in and around the May timeframe of 90% on-time performance. It's important to also acknowledge that the challenges that we face with our workforce and supply chain issue, which impacted our paratransit vehicle, were largely part of why we experienced the on-time performance issues. I'd also like to take an opportunity to recognize and appreciate the dedication of our paratransit employees. These employees worked tirelessly throughout the year, and a 15% increase really requires a lot of collaborative efforts from not only our operators, our schedulers, our dispatchers, and road supervisors, and several other departments that work behind the scenes to transport our paratransit customers every single day. I'd also like to recognize the employees of the paratransit RTC employees, notably our call center, our quality assurance staff members, and our certification departments. All of these departments also play a critical role in managing our paratransit service each and every day. As part of our efforts to maintain a high level of performance for our paratransit fleet, it's also worth highlighting the significant impacts of our summer heat campaign. Despite a 9.6 increase in overall road calls, we successfully managed to reduce heat-related issues by 12.5% compared to the previous year. This achievement reflects the dedication of not only our RTC paratransit fleet department, but also the paratransit contracted fleet department. These individuals ensure that our vehicles are safe and reliable so that, again, they can get our paratransit customers to and from where they need to go each and every day. This is especially hard with the consideration that 10% of our current paratransit fleet is over 150,000 miles. And so, again, we're very proud of the staff that work every day to keep the fleet on the road safely. As we talk a little bit about our specialized services, we'll talk about our senior transportation services. In 2024, we experienced a 2.8 increase in ridership for our Silver Star and FDR transportation services. As a reminder, we operate 12 Silver Star routes throughout the valley. They are, these very busy routes are transporting our ever-growing senior citizen populations to grocery stores, pharmacies, and other retail options within a short drive from their senior communities. And it costs them as little as 50 cents per ride. Next, we're going to talk a little bit about our Veterans Medical Transportation Network, which is the service that we do for our veterans. We also saw a 9.8 increase in ridership this past year. And something that's notable here is this is medical transportation, so it's really based off of the demand of the customers. Once again, this is free medical transportation on both our paratransit service and our transit service for our veterans. At our Mobility Training Center, RTC staff helps train clients to travel more independently throughout our transit system. 734 customers were mobility trained in fiscal year 24, with an impressive increase of 123%. This, again, is a very small department, but they do great work within our communities, helping individuals navigate our transit system so they have more mobility options within their daily lives. This increase was attributed to the growing number of referrals of our partners such as CCSD, Nevada Hand, Opportunity Village, and the Nevada Department of Employee Training and Rehabilitation, as well as several other agency partners that we work throughout the valley. And another fun thing just to remind you of is in April, we launched our Mobility Training Center on the Go bus. And this, as a reminder, was a federally funded project where we retrofit a paratransit vehicle, and it takes our mobility trainers out into the community to meet our customers where they are, and again, help them gain the skills so that they can learn to ride our public transit system. And we completed 17 trainings within 4 short months. And finally, an update on our paratransit ride-on-demand program, where a select group of our paratransit customers can use providers such as Lyft and Tango to have on-demand service, and opposed to always using paratransit. This program was launched in 2018, and currently we have 629 active participants who have taken more than 59,000 rides this past fiscal year, and it has been a cost saving for the RTC of more than $250,000, as well as it has helped with the overall paratransit service to help lessen the load and keep all of our other customers moving. That concludes my statements. If you have any questions for us.
Thank you, Mayor Putch. Councilman Knudsen.
Thank you, Chair. I just had a question about the Clark County School District and what parameters they set for a partnership with RTC and the schools they pick. And then the follow-up after that one, so 2 questions would be, have we worked with them to understand what impacts it's having on their busing system, and are there positives or negatives that come from their transit system that they operate?
So I was not here when the program initiated, however, it was developed as they were facing employee shortages for bus drivers. And so every year the program slightly tweaks, but basically anyone who is outside of the walking distance, which is about a mile, and within a 2-mile distance of that, where they're not providing yellow bus school service, is eligible for the program. And so students are enrolled based on that criteria, and everything is coordinated through CCSD to identify who those students are, do they remain eligible, and as students may move in and out of the zone, continuing to have that.
And to follow up on that, when we first met with the Clark County School District about how we could help them, it was some of the parameters around that were to ensure that the high school itself was located directly on one of our transit lines, and that we, RTC, had the capability to provide service, so we didn't need to add another bus, for example. And so it was really a no cost to the RTC. So the capacity had to be there. The route, the high school had to be on that route, and so that's why they identified those schools that met those 2 really important parameters.
Can I real quickly follow up on that? I think that there's probably, I know that cost is a huge issue for the school district, but certainly in the schools in my geographic area, we have serious issues with students simply not going to school because 2 miles is literally too far for a 6-year-old to walk to school. And also on the high school side, students aren't able to participate in after-school activities because they don't have a way to get home. So I think there's probably opportunity for the RTC and CCSD to sit down and see if there are opportunities for expansion of that to really serve the needs of our kids. Yeah. Councilman.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, and of course we talked about the same issue with the Rancho High School students, and many of them, of course, do regularly access and have no problem, using our buses. Just the other day, on Monday, as a matter of fact, I went with the NDOT team and took a walk up and down Cheyenne Avenue. And of course, there's a report I have to send to a couple of my guys here that I see from our infrastructure crew. Good to see fellows. But it just so happened that when I was walking down the street, one of our buses was pulled over, and I went and introduced myself, of course. And the driver did tell me that our bus broke down. But it just so happened, I was thinking to myself, I haven't hardly seen this, and I'm out and about, and it seemed like last year I used to see buses pulled over all the time, and I just said, hey, I haven't seen this too often. So this is remarkable, a 20% decrease for our buses here on the road calls, and then 35% less heat-related. Now, I guess we are the RTC. This might be more of like a question for you, MJ. If I do remember correctly, we did make a little bit more of a investment in our maintenance crew, didn't we? Is this what do we attribute this to? I want to say we hired a whole bunch of really cool mechanics here who know what they're doing, right? Can you speak to this just a little bit?
Sure. It really takes, hats off to the TransDev team, the MV team. They're responsible for maintaining the vehicles. RTC's fleet team is responsible to ensure that that's exactly what they're doing, that they're meeting all of the requirements in our scope of services. In this case, it takes a village. It takes a very proactive approach. They start the summer heat campaign every January, and our team is there to assist them along the way. So it was hats off to all involved.
Did you hire a new manager? And if so, hey, I think that person might be getting a bus. I'm just not making a nomination here because this is it is really a big deal. Every bus that gets broken down, that's one person who's late to work. A student who's late to classes at CSN. And so on and so forth. Someone who's late to pick up their kids from school, and so on and so forth. So this is really a big deal. Again, my total, whatever you're doing, keep that going or increase it. I did have one little question here also on the strip ridership revenue, strip revenue and ridership. I see the revenue only, it's not a good thing, but it only, quote, went down 8%. But the ridership actually went down 4%, or actually almost 5%. It's a minor deal, but did we increase? Did we increase anything on the strip?
I think one of the things that has helped with the strip revenue is the improvements that we've made in our technology and fare payments on the bus. It's made it even easier for individuals to understand how to pay. If you're from out of town, you don't have to worry about figuring out a TVM in which pass. You're simply taking your watch, turning on your Apple Pay, and paying for your trip. And so I think that has just allowed a better performance as it relates to fare collection.
I learned you can pay with your watch nowadays? I am way behind here, man. Dude, man, I guess you already knew that, huh, Mayor?
I know, you didn't have a watch.
Man, Barona's too old school. Maybe there's a good thing that I retired, huh? Oh from the school district. No, I think that answered my questions, and of course, I can't wait to make my commentary with the NDOT because I was really impressed with your team, by the way. So thank you so very much.
Any other comments or questions? I just want to say congrats to the entire team. I appreciate all of the work that's been done. Certainly, there's a few things that still need work, but dramatic improvements over the last year, even with the challenges that we faced over the last year with F1 and many other things. So kudos to you and the entire team, and obviously to our contractors.
Thanks, Chairman. Really, the leadership of both Sabrina and Antoinette they're exemplary, but certainly the support of these amazing deputy CEOs, it's really been a team effort, so many thanks.
Yep. Thank you.
And that concludes your CEO report, and we'll move on to the next item, which is to receive the Nevada Department of Transportation Director's Report. Today, it's Mario Gomez.
Director Gomez.
Good morning, and thank you for the opportunity to present or give an update. Starting off on my first slide, we have preliminary traffic safety data for 2024, so far as provided by the Department of Public Safety. In 2024, we are seeing more than a 7% increase in the overall fatal crashes statewide compared to this time last year. The majority of fatal crashes have occurred in Clark County due to its larger population, which means an increased number of impaired and speeding drivers on the road. Speed and impairment remain the largest contributing factors to most fatal crashes and fatalities. Some key takeaways for the state: unrestrained fatal crashes have increased by more than 11%. Pedestrian fatal crashes have increased by more than 24%, and fatal motorcycle crashes have increased by 10%, going from 40 fatalities in 2023 to 44 fatalities in 2024. Our main goal or focus as a DOT regarding safety still remains with intersection safety for vulnerable road users, along with passing lanes. So to give an update on our I-15 Tropicana project, crews recently poured concrete to form bridge decks within the project area, requiring overnight directional closures of I-15. We have more overnight directional closures on the 15 planned for September 23rd and the 24th for additional bridge deck pours. You also may have noticed a new structure being built along southbound I-15 near Tropicana Avenue. That's the new southbound on-ramp, Tropicana Avenue to 15, which will stretch nearly half a mile from its entry point to the gore tip. This bridge will be key to the Dean Martin connector, which is a new route allowing drivers on Dean Martin to cross underneath Tropicana Avenue without stopping at a signal. That's going to help out tremendously with bottlenecking at that intersection. It also enables westbound Tropicana travelers to head south on Dean Martin to Allegiant Stadium. The ramp is expected to be operational this coming year, which is 2025, and I am pleased to inform that substantial completion for the I-15 Tropicana project is still being targeted for late 2025. Moving on to our I-15 South widening project. So we have a few traffic restrictions on I-15 South widening project, which will, the scope of this project is widen the freeway and make improvements along nearly 9 miles of I-15 between Sloan Road and Warm Springs Road. Crews have been constructing sound walls near the St. Rose, Star, and Blue Diamond ramps and conducting overnight paving. Upcoming and current restrictions for this project include overnight lane restrictions on north and southbound I-15 between Sloan Road and St. Rose Parkway. That will be in place through September 16th. The southbound I-15 off-ramp to Star Avenue will be closed daily from 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. through September 20th for sound wall construction. The St. Rose Parkway on-ramp to southbound I-15 will be closed daily from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. through September 20 as well. And these restrictions do not include weekends, meaning that there will be no closures during the weekends. Some of the project features include widening I-15 from 6 to 8 general purpose lanes between Sloan Road and St. Rose Parkway, widening and restriping I-15 from 6 to 10 general purpose lanes between St. Rose Parkway and Blue Diamond Road, adding a high occupancy vehicle lane in each direction between St. Rose Parkway and Blue Diamond Road. And then also the scope of the work or the project features includes resurfacing bridges and pavement preservation at the Blue Diamond interchange and the construction of 10 brand new sound walls near qualifying residential areas throughout the corridor. So moving on to our anti-theft vandalism system pilot project. We continue to see costly, damaging wire theft within our right-of-way. Vandalism of highway fiber and power infrastructure costs Nevada taxpayers millions of dollars annually. Wire theft jeopardizes highway telecommunications, electrical, and driver information networks statewide by disrupting traffic operations, such as our roadway lighting system, dynamic message signs, and ramp meters. This is a direct cost to the taxpayer and to our NDOT programs. Signage and theft prevention systems are being installed at 66 locations along I-15 between Charleston and Flamingo. All locations are on freeway right-of-way, often in walled or fenced-off areas directly next to the interstate. These are locations where we have previously experienced extensive theft of vulnerable freeway infrastructure, and due to their proximity and configuration, these areas are not safe for public access. The contractor who's also performing the work will also host a monitoring system. This contractor has had success in reducing crime at construction laydown yards and other areas nationwide through the use of this system. The most important part of the program are the signs posted stating trespassing is prohibited and the area is under video surveillance per NRS 207.200. The system also includes loudspeakers and cameras. Those cameras are aimed towards potentially vulnerable freeway infrastructure, so they are at any point not aimed at outside the right-of-way. And those infrastructures are essentially pull boxes, light poles, the things where vandalism usually takes place. The camera's views are masked so that only movement directly within the camera's focus area on state infrastructure will be seen. Cameras can be zoomed in or out by adjusting the lens, but cannot be remotely reoriented outside the focus area. reorientation has to be physically happen on site. So if motion is detected, a monitoring staff will be alerted to review the camera feed. Sometimes these alerts are just maybe an airborne plastic or bag or authorized work within the work zone or within the area where the cameras are doing the surveillance. So if it ends up being a trespasser, the contractor will use a loudspeaker to alert that they are trespassing and must leave the area. And we've met with our law enforcement partners and other stakeholders to gather input on this new theft deterrent system. That includes Metro, NHP, Las Vegas Marshals, Clark County Social Services, Las Vegas Rescue Mission, Salvation Army, Nevada Homeless Alliance, Catholic Charities, and many others. We've also coordinated dispatch protocol with the Nevada State Police and Metro. NDOT also has provided an overview of the pilot program during the publicly announced May Transportation Board meeting. And NDOT will also conduct routine check-ins with our local partners to ensure that the program continues to work effectively. This is a pilot program, so as a pilot program, NDOT, we will track the number of talkdowns and incidents we have in our right-of-way, the amount of theft and associated cost of the system, downtime to determine if vandalism-related impacts and costs are reduced. And then also, we will also be gathering feedback from our local stakeholders on all this. And part of my last slide here is NDOT always likes to celebrate our partner agencies. And we've highlighted a couple slides before in a different presentation, but we'd like to take this opportunity to say congratulations to the Regional Transportation Commission of Southern Nevada for the groundbreaking of the Maryland Parkway Bus Rapid Transit Project on Monday, August 12th. And thanks to our federal partners and the U.S. Department of Transportation for their support in advancing public transit initiatives like this one. And thank you again for the opportunity to present this morning. That concludes my presentation.
Thank you, Director. Councilman?
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Director. The traffic fatalities, the fatal pedestrian crashes, that's just astonishing. It's up by 24%. Is there any particular contributing factor as to why? I mean, I can see it, it's kind of understandable, a 5 or 10, as a 5% increase, 10%, of course, as our population grows. But what is the cause most attributable, or do you have any sort of analysis for that on the fatal pedestrian crashes?
So it depends on a variety of factors, but mostly it's been related to speed and maybe somebody jaywalking, crossing in an area where they're not seen, and that really catches somebody by surprise. So part of our focus has been, more programs that are geared towards mid-block crossings, raising awareness with flashing signs, allowing pedestrians to really alert the driver that's out there of them wanting to make that movement or across the street. So that's primarily what we've been finding for the most part. So.
Yeah, and again, with I think the flashing signs are the on-demand push things. There's like between on Eastern, which for me in North Las Vegas is Civic Center, from Civic Center, Lake Mead, as it passes into Las Vegas, like 4 or 5 of them, and I see them used a lot. But I'll see drivers who are like reluctant to slow down, even after they push them. And I swear sometimes there are people who don't use them, even though they're very accessible, right? So do we also see there are more pedestrians as well, and drivers who are more distracted because?
The phone?
Yeah.
That could very well be as well, so. It's usually driver behavior as well, that, to your point, that is also a contributing factor, that it's not only the person not crossing where they're supposed to during the phasing or at a signalized intersection or an opportunity to cross at a location where they are allowed, but then also, crossing in a area where they're really not supposed to, and then the driver not expecting that and also being distracted by other things as well. So, yeah, there's a variety of things that are related to driver behavior.
And I appreciate all the effort that's been done on Charleston, on that stretch between Lamb and Nellis by putting in those the barrier, because it seemed like almost every week someone's getting hit along that stretch, and I think those statistics have plunged. So if there's other parts of town where and we have to, change people's behavior by putting in barriers, I think it's worth it. Every dollar we do that is saving someone's life, whether they or whether they want to be saved or not. One other question: the fatal motorcycle crashes. Maybe it's just me. I just noticed it, but man, there seems to be a lot of people driving Amazon motorcycles. And what I mean by that is, there are motorcycles like being bought and delivered to your door for like $1,500 or less, and they're really fast and powerful. And we even had a guy who recently got killed on a homemade motorcycle. There seems to be like a plethora of little mini bikes, and they're people riding them. Since they're low to the ground. I drive a four-wheel drive pickup truck, and I wouldn't be surprised if I ran someone over and didn't even notice it, right? Especially with all these, although for the record, that's never happened, right? But this 10% rise in motorcycle fatalities, does that take, is that what we're seeing? Because that seems like it to be an inordinate, and also another inordinate increase here. Are just that many more people riding motorcycles and mini bikes and scooters?
Speeding is a contributing factor. So if you're riding a motorcycle, usually crashes with motorcycles usually occur because they're riding at a high elevated or higher speed than the posted speed or safe speed. So that's been a contributing factor as well for that. So.
But if we had more people getting killed on these mini bikes and that would be included in the motorcycle stats, right?
That is correct, yes.
Okay, well, hopefully our friends who ride motorcycles, of all types, slow down and stay alive, I guess that's it for me. And by the way, again, I want to thank your NDOT team for hosting me when I went out on the walk. Although I drive up and down Cheyenne quite a bit, once you're actually out there walking on the street level, you see things that normally other people just don't see. And again, I owe a report to my road guys who are here. They'll be getting my email sheepishly from me a little bit later on. But I totally encourage my colleagues here on the RTC that if you can participate on these walks in your community, I highly recommend. Although I swear it'd be better if these walks were done in the fall or in the spring or something, right? Because I had to walk on. I was supposed to go yesterday, and I didn't make it. I was kind of under the weather, so I'll just leave it like that. But it was fantastic, and I had a chance to see from the ground level what the pedestrians go through. And will there be a report from all these community walks? Will there be a report from your office to this board regarding things that you've noticed and seen?
I would have to follow up with the team, but I am certain that we have something documented somewhere. So I would be more than happy to share it with you or with this group if you want me to.
Thank you so very much. And again, it just takes it's a whole different perspective between again, we're always busy driving, and there's things that you just don't see. Like for instance, I didn't see that there was a facility that got taken out by someone who was probably driving way too fast and bounced off a couple of poles there. So you wouldn't know it unless you were actually walking, because people will not report these kind of things. It's the weirdest thing, Street lights are out on an entire block, and sometimes residents will just not report that kind of stuff when they're our first line of defense, so to speak. Anyhow, thank you so very much.
You're welcome. Thank you, sir.
Any other comments or questions? All right, thank you, Director.
Thanks, Chairman. The next item is to approve your consent agenda. It consists of items 5 through 40 and can be taken in one motion.
All right, I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
All right, there's a motion to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. And I'll just note for the record that Mayor Hardy and Mayor Goodman are excused for a speaking engagement. And Madam Manager, can you just real quickly, I know agenda item 37 was mentioned in initial public comment. That is a big deal. So can you just real quickly comment on what's going on there?
Actually, I'm gonna ask David Swallow, who is our Deputy CEO and oversees this department that is working on consent.
Swallow.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. This item is related to the update of the Southern Nevada Strong Regional Policy Plan. If you recall, this was developed through it was sponsored through a federal grant led by the city of Henderson starting in 2012 and ultimately leading to the plan adoption in 2015. Subsequently, the RTC was asked to administer the plan, which we have done for nearly a decade now, but it's also time to look at the plan, look what has been accomplished, but also the path forward. And so we are proposing to do this update to the plan. It is, again, funded, 95% of which is federally reimbursable through a grant program. So we're looking forward to bringing the community again together to look at not just transportation, but really the idea of a complete community with attainable housing options, good paying jobs, and transportation choice.
Great. I know Henderson had really taken the lead the first time around, so we appreciate their efforts, and it's great that RTC is taking the baton now. Great.
Great, thanks, David. The next item is to receive an update from our Deputy CEO, Angela Castro, on the 2025 legislative session. Ange.
Good morning, members of the board. Angela Castro, Deputy CEO with the RTC. I just wanted to give you a brief update regarding our work in preparation for the 2025 legislative session. First, I wanted to brief you on our 3 legislative priorities. As you know, our top legislative priority is continuing the fuel revenue indexing program beyond 2026. This will provide critical funding for roadway projects in Southern Nevada, and it will also assist with freeing up a portion of the sales tax revenue to address some of our transit funding shortfalls as part of our short-term solution. Our second priority is around transit security. Over the summer, the RTC met with several stakeholders, including the ATU, the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, the Clark County District Attorney's Office, PLAN, the Culinary Union, ACLU, various community and business organizations, and our transit riders to discuss how to best improve transit security. One of the recommendations that came from the group was a legislative recommendation to modify the Nevada revised statute language to authorize security officers to remove passengers when a situation calls for it. The ATU and TransDev have agreed to partner with us on this very important legislation, and Intercon Security, our security contractor, is also fully supported and committed to helping us. Our third priority is around flexibility and potentially identifying alternative funding opportunities. As you know, continuing the fuel revenue indexing program will not entirely address the RTC's funding issues. This is just one part of the solution. With this in mind, we would also like the flexibility to explore other potential funding alternatives to support both roadways and transit if the opportunity presents itself. This may include extending the RTC sales tax ballot authority, which is set to expire at the end of this year, passing a bill to generate additional revenue through reallocation, an alternative conveyance fee, or some other revenue generating option. In addition to our legislative priorities, we are continuing to work with other stakeholders on their potential priorities that may impact the RTC. And as you know, one of the most critical issues that has been discussed even at this board has been around hybrid and fully electric vehicles. Led by the Nevada Department and other key stakeholders, they are working towards parity legislation to address hybrid and electric cars that currently do not pay their fair share in using our roads. If legislation advances from these meetings, the RTC, with your continued direction, will most likely be supportive. Potential legislation regarding traffic camera enforcement and bicycle safety is also being considered. We've been conversing with various stakeholders and actively monitoring these potential bills. If legislation advances, we'll be sure to provide you with an update. Similar to every other session, we continue to monitor and address any legislation that could impact the RTC. There are currently 520 bill draft requests that have been submitted to the Legislative Council Bureau. Of these BDRs, we are actively tracking 152 that could potentially impact the agency. And finally, we wanted to share that the Transportation Resource Advisory Committee and Community Collaboration Group reconvened last month. This group includes over 30 community and business members who will work closely with the RTC to provide both short and long-term recommendations on potential funding alternatives and to help develop and identify potential strategies and support for the 2025 session. In addition to TRAC, though, the team will also continue to meet with other partner agencies, community groups, and business associations as we aim to share our message and obtain support on our priorities prior to session. In closing, I wanted to thank you and your staff for your leadership and input over the last several months. We have met with you, we've met with your government affairs teams, your public works teams, to really build consensus around some of these priorities. We will continue to work with them throughout the session, and if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you, Ms. Castro. Councilman Shaw.
Thank you for that update. Just a couple of points for this board, and I guess a couple of questions. Fuel indexing is critical. Without that, we won't survive. So I think it behooves everyone on this board to talk to your lobbyists and have them support the RTC in this lobbying effort to make this happen. Because it's imperative. I guess the other thing, and we need to look at the timing of this, but some time ago, the airport dropped off fuel indexing, and we don't derive any revenue from the airport fuel sales, and we need to look at that. That's a serious number in the millions of dollars. And obviously, the electric car issue is again a critical issue, as is, I like your term, convenience fees. You can look at our historical ridership and what happens, and the day Uber and Lyft started, our ridership dropped by 30%. And so they impact us, and we need to talk about that. So I think it's really important that we, as municipalities, support this effort with our own lobbyists and our own people up there at the legislature to make sure that this stuff happens.
Thanks, Councilman. Councilman Kunitson.
Thank you, Chair. Angela, and a couple of slides back, you had the 3 different areas that you're looking at your partner supported agenda items. One other one that I think is important is the transit-oriented development. So that was last session, it was AB 10, it didn't get a hearing. This session, I believe the city of Reno through the Nevada League of Cities is gonna be sponsoring similar legislation. And I think it's important from a city perspective, the development of housing has everything to do with where transit goes. And that's the intent of transit-oriented development. I think that has a place in a legislature, and I think it has a place in conversation with the RTC.
Great, I'm going to add that, and I noted that it's League of Cities and the City of Reno. We will connect with them shortly.
Commissioner?
On that, is NACO supportive of that? Because we don't want to be in a situation where the cities only get the benefit from that.
I will find out, I don't know.
I can work on that. I will visit both NACO and the League of Cities and have conversations with them.
Yep. And I'll just say to Councilman Shaw's point, when we had our track meeting, it has to be on every one of our body's priority lists. It has to be on every one of their priority lists from the stakeholders. It has to be on the League of Cities priority list. It has to be on NACO's priority list. If we're gonna get fuel revenue indexing passed, it's gotta be all in on everyone's priority list. And I thought one of the most poignant comments at the track committee was former Majority Leader Irene Bustamante Adams, who was amongst those who helped pass it originally. She said that she and other organizations were in on the front end last time around, and this time around we all got to keep our foot on the gas. So we all got to keep our foot on the gas this time around.
Mr. Chair, to that point,
yep.
Like I take it that it's our responsibility to lead that effort, but in that leadership, and Angela, I'll look to you, can we provide specific action items for all those supporting organizations so they know what their follow-up role is? So for example, if the City of Las Vegas, for our public works, our government affairs teams, if we give them bullet points saying, here's your legislators, here's your tasks, here's the materials we need you to produce. I think they're all, and I've had conversations with the track committee as well, they're looking for very specific direction, and I think that'll help.
Yep. We are
Agreed,
and we're working on it.
Right. Councilman?
Yeah, just to just put a finer point on that. Of course, I was marveling over the report seeing how the RTC is doing its fair share to get students to CSN. And of course, you know, the North Las Vegas campus is really important in my community, right? If RTC spirals downward, that's that many less students getting to CSN, you know, which of course, you know, impacts the community immediately and in the future. Those young people that we saw there, those are our future. Those are our future nurses, future teachers, and so on and so forth, right? Again, bring in just as many other entities as possible. You know, this will affect Nevada State. It will affect CSN. And probably I think we need to do a better job of getting out to our business community. When I did take my last mobility ride, or my last ride there, I couldn't help but notice, but there were several workers to one of the supermarkets there, and I'll go ahead and say it, Mariana's, right? They used our transportation system to get to work. And so I think anything that we can do to go out and include the business community. We are moving their workers to work. There's just no other way to say it, you know. And our public system is very responsible. We kept costs down, but we need their support, you know, to make sure that this happens. So again, you know, many of us here on this board, we have contacts with these entities. It'll be time for us to pull out our Rolodex, which is, you know, these things here, and, you know, get them out to you and get them on board. No pun intended. No pun intended in that one either. But yeah, thank you so very much.
Yeah, and to that point, the Vegas Chamber, the Henderson Chamber, and the Latin Chamber are represented on the track committee, but that doesn't mean we don't need to continue to talk to everybody out there. So, all right.
Couldn't agree with you more. Great. So the next item is to receive, it's agenda item 42, to receive information from our legal counsel. There are no items to discuss. We can move on to the last agenda item, which is to conduct your final citizens participation period.
Very good. This is the second time set aside for public comment. Anyone wishing to provide public comment with regards to matters before the RTC, please step forward to the microphone, state your name, spell your last name for the record, and please limit your comments to 3 minutes.
Commissioners, Board, Dennis Hennessy. I'm here for a totally different reason, but I have to comment on that last, your legislative upcoming transit police. That's all I'm going to say, transit police. We delayed it last year. It didn't happen last year, and I see transit security was in there. We need transit police. What I'm here to talk about today is, I notice you're getting ready for RFP for your paratransit services. I want to talk a minute about the current company that's doing paratransit, MV. They used to do part of the city in fixed route. When they left here and Keolis left here, MV decided to not reimburse the 600 or so brothers and sisters of mine accrued vacation. Keolis wrote a check. Boom, here you go. No questions asked. MV has fought it all the way. Our union is currently into an arbitration stage, but you know who has the power to fix that? You do. Because if you don't think past behavior leads to future behavior, MV is currently running your paratransit services. When they leave, if they don't get the contract, they're going to screw every one of your paratransit operators out of their accrued vacation. So you have the opportunity, and you all have the opportunity to fix that now. To even allow them into an RFP when they owe 600 drivers, and mostly our senior drivers, accrued vacation is just wrong. It's shameful on them, but now it becomes on you guys. It's shameful on you guys if you even allow them to participate in an RFP. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hennessy.
Good morning.
Morning.
My name is William Lynn, president of ATU 1637. Dennis pretty much said what we had to say. I just want to add into this fact that that also includes our mechanics. and we robbed the mechanics, the operators of this city, left, they've been allowed to bid again. And when this RFP comes up, we are going to definitely be against them coming and do any business in Las Vegas while they continue to rob the hardworking people that support this city. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Lynn. Anyone else wishing to provide public comment? Mr. Nimrod.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen, Chairman, MJ. My name is Eric Nimrod, Eric Melchizedek Christ Nimrod. You can find me in Genesis, the 10th chapter, the 6th to the 10th verse. What I'm service, integrity, respect, accountability, excellence, and leadership are very good, but I think the best, the link, the strong link is respect. Without respect, all that other stuff will go down the drain. The Maryland Parkway construction is very good. I mean, I'm seeing these big machines. I like to see big machines. And, you know, they don't stop the traffic. Everything is just sweet. The bus stop structures look great. I'm waiting to see those because they, pedestrian fatalities at night wear white. You know, most of the time you've seen these one-wear strips, these lighting strips, but most people don't have that. But everybody has a white shirt. So sometimes just say, you know, at night wear white. Stick on a white shirt, and that'll probably help with the fatalities. And the vandalism system, don't you have cameras to take pictures when you hear something, see something? Take a picture, send it to the police. And that's me, y'all. Thank you for doing a great job.
Thank you, Mr. Nimrod.
Thank you. I really enjoyed sitting through the meeting, and I realized I needed to make a couple of more comments. I'm Catherine Duncan, and we're really excited about the infrastructure bill that's bringing so much revenue into our community so that we can fix our aging problems. But one thing with the infrastructure bill, it does have a price tag on it called Justice 40. And being in the inner city and being in the disadvantaged community, we really took a strong look at Justice 40, and we're being counseled by a gentleman with Homeland Security, General Arnold Gordon Bray. He has a national team that's working with HUD that's empowering us who live in the disadvantaged communities on how to become better engaged with these types of projects. And so I came down today to meet with the person who was awarded the contract on item number 37, and I just want to be introduced to those people so we can let them know that we have a very exciting system called Virtual Community Action Planning that we would like to engage with them, and we didn't know who would get the bid, but we certainly want to work with those people to make sure that our system of having an inside-out engagement concept is implemented through Nevada Partners and UNLV. So I appreciate your taking the time to listen, and I hope to get that introduction. Okay.
Thank you. I'm sure Mr. Swallow can meet up with you afterwards. Yep.
Thank you. Okay.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to provide public comment? Anyone? No. All right. Very good. Then we'll go ahead and close the second public comment period, and we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.